Let's understand about the SSIS migrations to Azure Data Factory. Let's do them carefully. Yes, here it is, friends. Our requirement, you have some SSIS packages in on-premise and you would like to post them to ADF. Here is the actual migration plan. SQL Server data tools. From this SSDT, we know we can have some list of packages, right? And from here, you build, we get the SPAC file, these pack files. We deploy to on-premise, right? General activity in on-premise, number 2. But now something else. From ISPAC files, you can get them to Azure SQL Server that can have an SSIS DB inside. Azure SQL Server also supports SSIS DB, similar to an on-premise SQL Server that has SSIS DB. From this SQL Server integration services, SSIS catalog DB in Azure SQL Server, logical server, we can trigger the pipelines and go for executions with the help of an additional runtime engine called SSIS IR, SSIS integration runtime. So you need to configure this SSIS IR in ADF. Well, let's understand the things carefully, step by step. So here we go. Our requirement. Firstly, let's configure the complete information for the ISPAC files, right? Let's get the complete information for the ISPAC files so that from there we can continue with the actual migration activities. Well, so here we go, friends. So I shall be taking, just hold on, friends. Yes, I shall be taking one ISPAC file on the screen. This is my ISPAC file. I had an integration services package deployment or project deployment file ready, or you can create your own ISPAC file as well. And let's understand how to implement. Here it is. Let's take SSDT. You may take your existing ISPAC file or launch SSDT. File, new project. Integration services project. I'll browse. I'll take Azure BI for ADF migrations. Give some meaningful name. I'll say SSIS dev project from on-premise. Give some meaningful name and click OK. Next. Well, as we know, we get one default package like this, on empty package. Now here, let's add, for example, an existing package. Let's add an existing package. You can create new package or you can add existing package, either of them. You would like to add an existing package that includes, I'll just put this way, from my desktop I'll add one existing package here for something called as properties, to get the package level properties. What the package will do, let's see. This package has a small set of activities to run data insertions to a specific database and table, right? Here it is, insert. A small example, insert into table name values. It's using my local server. Now, remember our requirement, we need to migrate the packages to Azure, right? Remember that. And here it is, statement 2. So in this way, you got all statements ready. And it is fine. If I execute the package, let's make sure I got all the information ready. And right click package, execute package. Test. Verify that the package is working fine internally. It says right now error, and because my DTC is not running, let's make sure my distributed transaction coordinator is running fine. So here we go. I'll go to services. I'll go to services. Here it is. Transaction coordinator service. Right click package, execute. Now my package execution starts and it continues as usual. Let's make sure our package is working fine locally. Friends, what I did, I started the DTC service. And moreover, the package is using my local connections, and on the local connections, yes, my integration runtime service is already executing, because once the package goes to Azure ADF environment, in order to execute this package, the ADF has to connect to the server, right? Connect to my local server, my local resources. So whatever integration runtime component we configured earlier is required. It is required now. Next, I'll call it as, for example, package 2 or say package 1, and you got one more package. Let's take this way. I'll go to file or add package, add an existing package. I'll add one package for union or incremental loads, or any package from on-premise. I'll take package for union and one more package for incremental loads, right? I'll take one package for incremental loads. Well, I'll make sure I'll configure my source to be ready. So here it is. I'll configure my source to make sure we get this example completely. Let's have some local packages first. Let's see. Well, here we go. Connected to the source server, and I'll take my SCD transformation. It can be any script of your choice. The source script. I'll configure the source database and also the destination database. My source and destinations are ready. Let's validate the package. I'll just uncheck work offline. Now no more red marks, right? My package is ready. Right click package and execute package. Right click package, execute package. Make sure the package is working fine. Right click package, execute. In case of any incremental changes, they come here. Otherwise, but still the package gets executed successfully. These are all on-premise data connections, right? This is package 3. I'll put this way, package 3 for incremental loads. Next, this one, union. I'll edit and get the connections from one of my path, local path. Then destination, give some destination tables and click OK. Make sure there are no red marks, right? And this is my union. Now here, package 1, in package 1, I'll just remove this package. Yes, in package 1, properties, here it is. I'll just make it package 2 as union. Yes, this is the correct follow the process for easy understanding of our examples. Yes, package 1 properties, either complete or nothing, and you are connected to master, one of the system databases. Package 2 connected to TempDB, 2 connections. Package 3 both user defined connections. Now I'll take, for example, this Excel connection or SQL Server connection, any one, and rename this connection as, say, global connection. I'll make it a global connection. Right click, convert to project connection. We'll configure this way, convert to project connection. Okay. And next, also parameterize. Right click, parameterize. We'll give it as global parameter, or simply say project parameter. For SQL Server, you require the server name, database name, which has to be dynamic. Say required. Required is optional. For now, I'll make it required, means mandatory parameter, and click OK. We have FX. It is now a global parameter. Same way, for example, I'll take Excel path parameter, Excel parameter. Here it is. You can parameterize the connection. Here you will see the path, right? The data source equal to this path, Excel file path. We can make it dynamic. I'll make it as input Excel file package parameter, or simply say input package parameter. You have to specify Excel file. Okay, give some localization in this way. So local parameter, package level, not project level, it's package level required, and click OK. Well, so you got the information ready, right? You got the information ready, and now your solution is ready with one global connection. Project parameter, this is a project parameter, it's a default value. You can add a description as well, say on-premise SQL connection parameter. Okay, you got the description ready. So one package, global parameter. Second package, a local Excel parameter. Third package, no parameters at all. Now right click project, build. Build started and succeeded. Then right click project. You can rebuild or deploy, but build should be fine for now, so that we get one IPAC file created. This is ready. Using SSDT, we got IPAC file. From here, let's understand how to get into the SSIS in ADF. This is a requirement. How to provision Azure SQL Server integration runtime, SSIS IR in Azure Data Factory. So launch SSMS tool, connect to Azure SQL Server, verify that there is no SSIS DB. Launch SSMS. Let me close all other windows. Verify that there is no SSIS DB. It's not there. Next, from Azure portal, Azure Data Factory, author and monitor. I think in the meantime it got signed out. Let me just quickly sign in. Let me sign in. Yes, here it is. Go to ADF. Click on the ADF and click on author and monitor as usual. Once we click on this author and monitor, there you see configure SSIS integration runtime. Friends, earlier it is integration runtime IR. Now something else, SSIS IR. It is different. Let's see. Configure SSIS IR, this one. Just beside copy data, we see configure SSIS IR. Click on configure SSIS IR. Click. This will ask you for certain details towards billing. Now provide the name, description, location and node size. Provide the name. I'll say integration runtime. SSIS. give some name, description for SSIS on-premise to ADF. Type is Azure SSIS. The type is automatically seen there, hard coded. Location can be any location of your choice. Here it is. It can be any location of your choice. For example, I'll take US East US 2, or it can be any location. I think, yep. Central India has got a cheaper pricing comparatively for Azure SSIS. Node size. It is just like setting up a new service kind of thing, a new service. Provide the node size. 2 cores D2 and about 8 GB RAM, and the number of nodes maybe 2 or 3, etc. And this is the cost involved per hour. Number of nodes increase. For example, here it is 8 nodes $5 per hour, and 9 nodes $6 per hour, so on. I'll take for now moderate 2 nodes. Again, lesser the number of nodes, you may see lesser pricing per hour, but the duration may increase. If I have 10 nodes, my operations are taking say 1 hour. If I reduce the number of nodes by 2, make it only 5 nodes, operations would definitely take more than 1 hour, right? What if it is almost 2 hours? Again the same price. It depends. Go with moderate number of nodes. If required, you have to modify the number of nodes here, we can do that. License, standard or enterprise. Enterprise license is multi-fold cost. Go for standard license. Default is standard. And if you already have SQL Server license, you can say yes and provide those license details here. As I was mentioning few minutes back, it is just like setting up a new service, new SSIS service, something like that. Say continue. So where you would like to install this SSIS service, there should be some database engine, right? The DB engine is nothing but our regular Azure SQL Server logical server service. So create SSIS catalog, SSIS DB in Azure SQL database server to store your projects, packages, environments, and execution logs. Provide the subscription, select all, and provide this server. On this server, you would like to have this, nothing but the server endpoint. This is the server name. And on this server, you would like to get this SSIS DB installed. Provide the admin name, and set the password. Catalog database, say basic plan. Just give the basic plan. The SSIS DB can be taken either basic or standard. Go for the basic plan right now. Next, create package stores. You can set this option to manage your SSIS packages deployed to file system or nothing but the Azure blob storage or from SQL Server MSDB. Create package stores. It's nothing but the file system deployment is still being supported. SSIS deployment, SSIS DB catalog deployment, and package stores for file system deployments. It's optional, and click test connection. Let's wait. It's testing the connection to the server and database. Test connection successful. So here it is, friends. From the Azure portal, you configure the Azure SSIS environment. Next, authentication details, test connection. Make sure it works and continue. Specify the maximum parallel executions per node. Say 2 or 3 number of nodes. More the number of nodes, the better. And we can customize the Azure SSIS integration runtime with additional service or additional system configurations. This includes the configuration environments. This includes the configuration environments. It actually mainly required for virtual machines. In case of any virtual machines, for now just ignore and click continue. Just click continue. Next. So this is a complete summary available right now. Complete summary with Azure integration runtime, subscription details, general name, description, location, so on. Number of parallel executions per node 4, and this is the cost per hour. And click create. Just click on create. This would take some time. This would definitely take some time to get this integration runtime created. Well, next step. So here it is, connections integration runtime. This is the one. And in the meantime, if in case if you don't find it here, then create, in addition to these two, we need to have the Azure IR also. Create the Azure integration runtime. This one, Azure self-hosted, right? This one. Make sure it is available. We configured it in the previous class, right? Self-hosted IR. If in case you are recreating the ADF account, ADF resource, then just configure it again. So this is the integration runtime. Self-hosted for on-premise access. Okay, give some description and create. Make sure it is already there with you. If not, create it. You got the key value, right? Copy the key and go to this configuration wizard, the configuration manager, and here go to settings and make sure in the home page we should be able to get the option to enter the key values. Let's enter the key. We should be able to get a prompt to enter the key values. Let's hold on. If not, we'll simply reinstall the environment again. We'll just reinstall the integration runtime environment again. We should be getting a prompt to enter the key. Let me stop the service once. and start the service and check. Let's wait. So make sure we are setting up with all this information. It's connecting. Let's wait. We'll see whether it is working here. If not, we'll use this key, reinstall this integration runtime. Let's wait for a few moments. Let's hold on, friends. Still going on. Let's wait. Yes, it's connected now. Yes, it's connected. Let's wait for a few moments. Still not coming up with the key. No worries. I'll just close and control panel. I'll just go to the integration runtime. This one. It hardly takes 30 seconds. We'll uninstall and again get it reinstalled. Let's wait. Yes, uninstallation completed. Almost done. In the meantime, I'm ready with my software. We'll simply install it. So simple, friends. Make sure you get 2 IRs ready. Okay. Total there are 3 IRs. Auto resolve, Azure SSIS IR, and Azure IR. Just doing a complete cleanup. and don't go for the express setup. Okay, it would not work all the time. If you have Windows Server operating system, then express setup will work. Otherwise, go in the traditional way, download and install manual setup always. I repeat, express setup will not work for client operating systems. Go for always download and install the manual setup manually. Let's wait. Almost done. Few more seconds left. Looks like it is done now. Yes, double click. To start the installation. It's almost done. Let's wait. Yes, configuration is done. It will ask you for the key value, right? So I'll simply copy the key, paste, and register. And finish. Let's make sure we get the configuration ready. We should be able to see the green tick mark. Yes, this is the last final step. Let's wait. You can launch configuration manager. Everything is working fine, right? Now close. Here it may not be working immediately. It may say unavailable for some time, but it's connected. Cloud is connected. So refresh. Just refresh and everything should be fine. So make sure you got all three IRs ready: auto resolving runtime, self-hosted, and Azure SSIS. Okay, get all these three components ready. This is a repeat option from the previous lectures. Now to verify from SSMS, right click Azure SQL Server. In the meantime, my Azure IR would have created one SSIS DB. So rather than waiting over there for the SSIS DB to be created, it will generally take 3-4 minutes. During that time, we configured the self-hosting runtime. Ensure SSIS DB is created here. Go to Azure Server and yes friends, one SSIS DB is created. Right? Next, ensure DB is online. How to do that? Go to portal. I timed the portal to stay logged in only for 10 minutes. I just re-log in again. Yes, here you will be able to find the SSIS DB. Go into SSIS DB. This auto created just now. Basic tier. And make sure the status is online. Okay, next. Now SSDT build one IPAC file is created. I said open existing solution. We actually defined a new solution starting of the class today. Next. Launch deployment wizard in on-premise and source would be IPAC file. Destination would be Azure SQL Server. Here we go. Launch deployment wizard, source IPAC, destination Azure SQL Server. So here it is. Get the deployment wizard. Click on the deployment wizard and provide the required deployment file, project deployment file. I'll provide the deployment file which is actually available in my current project location. Your IPAC file, wherever it will be located, just provide it. I actually placed it in the bin folder. Default is bin folder. So you got the IPAC file that was generated earlier starting of the class today. There's a source. Now what will be the destination? Simple. Instead of your traditional SQL Server destination for database engine, here you provide the server name. You provide the server name. So here it is. This one. Provide the required server name because by this time SSIS DB is already there, right? It's already available with you. So provide the login name and password. Say connect. Provide the login name, password and path. Here we need to create new folders. This one friends, just like regular on-premise SSIS DB deployment, new folder. Here it is. SSIS, or simply say package folder 1. Give some first folder here because we can create our own new folder separately. Next, you got the project folder created, the package folder created, and next it says there was some Windows authentication. Let it be. It's recommended to have SQL authentication, but again we parameterize the connections. We can change them at runtime and use the summary. Just make sure you get it deployed. Get it deployed. This would take few minutes time and the actual deployment starts. This would definitely take some time because we are deploying from on-premise ISPAC to Azure SSIS. Remember, so the component involved here, there are two components involved. Number one, the first component in this deployment process, Azure SSIS. This is the first component involved in deployment. This is the service using which migration happens now. Okay, but to where? What is the target? Target is SSIS DB. This is the actual target. So inside SSIS DB, the packages would be encrypted and stored. So one service, this one, friends, Azure SSIS service, just like your regular SSIS service. Let's verify the package deployment status in the meantime. Was successful and close. Just close it. We are not using local SSIS service. Remember that. Well, okay, now my packages are into ADF portal, or say they are into a Azure account, which is supported by the integration runtime SSIS. I mean, now our packages are in Azure environment. Let me just show you the diagram once again, just in case for more clarity. Just in case for more clarity, let me just take the diagram again. Just accidentally closed it earlier. Let me just open it and show you once again now on my screen here. So we started our journey from 1 to the dark box to 3, and we created one SSIS IR, right? Inside ADF we created one IR, and our packages in the SSIS DB is ready. We deployed it. It is ready here. Even from SSIS DB also you can export and import. So ready. Now let's see how to use them in ADF. Let's see. Here we go. Let's see now how to get into these pipelines in ADF. So from on-premise SSIS, we got all packages to Azure SSIS DB. From Azure SSIS DB, let's get the pipelines. Here it is. Go to pipeline, say plus pipeline, click on plus pipeline. In the notes, yes, we got the Azure SSIS runtime, SSIS DB is online, build, deploy. Next, once we build and deploy, yes friends, so here we go. I think these are all repeated, not required. Yes friends, so here it is. Once it is built and deployed, next step, from ADF portal, click on runtime engines, click on SSIS runtime engine, execute SSIS packages. Back. Let's follow the nodes. Connections, runtime engine. Here it is. See the small execute SSIS package, this one. Using the service, we can execute the SSIS package. Click. This will automatically create a pipeline. See there, friends. Or you can create your own pipeline and show the connection for SSIS. Either of them. Concurrency control. Say 1 or 2 at a time. It's up to you. So give the properties. It's optional. Select execute SSIS package and specify which package you would like to execute. Remember, we already deployed them, right? Click on settings, integration runtime, and Windows authentication. We can make it here because our SSIS IR is there, right? It will take care. Next, 32-bit runtime. It is same as 32-bit runtime is same as right click project properties and debug 64-bit to false. 64-bit to false is same as the 32-bit runtime here. We can also make it dynamic. So optional. Your package execution domain, if any, domain name. Domain is nothing but here your computer name. It's mandatory. Yes, it's mandatory here. Corporate domain is optional, but domain name inclusion is mandatory. If you don't have a corporate domain, provide your computer name here. Username. Because I said Windows authentication, right? Because I said Windows authentication, we need to provide these details. Next. Package location, SSIS DB. If you say file system, it will ask you for the network path of any location accessible by this computer. That's the meaning. It's Windows authentication. For now it is SSIS DB. Provide the folder. Let's wait. We need to select the folder that was created today during the deployment process few minutes back. So here it is. Refresh. I'll just make sure I'll close all other windows. It's not coming up. So select integration runtime Windows component domain username, your computer username and password. Folder. Yeah, this one, right? Package folder. Whatever folder you created earlier. Project, there is only one project right now. We can deploy multiple projects with different names. If you deploy the another project with the same name, it gets overwritten. Package, which package you would like to have? Say package 1. Environment. You can select the required environment, which is completely optional. Logging level is also by default basic, it is optional. Select the required package and manual entries in case of any. Well, so here it is, manual entries in case of any, like environment path. We can provide the environment variables here. Just leave it as it is. Okay, and next. So you define the username, domain, user, password, package locations, parameters. In this particular example, we have one project parameter, right? And here is a project parameter value. This is a complete connection string. If required, we can modify it. This one. It's a editable string. Say provide server 2 or server 1. You can do the modifications. Connection managers. Connections pertaining to the current package. So here it is. Connection manager is nothing but a split of all the parameter values like You got the initial catalog, password, server name, connection strings, etc. Just leave it as it is for now. And then once it is done, I'll just make sure I'll show you other alternative also. I created an empty pipeline, right? Here also execute SSIS package. We can drag and drop. Friends, there are two ways to execute SSIS packages. There are two ways to execute SSIS packages. One way is to get this interface from the connections. Here it is. Go to connections and click on the small symbol. We get this interface automatically, or get a new pipeline, right? Here it is. Plus and new pipeline, search by name, activity SSIS, you get this. Here again we can get the runtime engine, and next Windows authentication, package location. It's optional. If in case if your package has something to do with Windows authentication, then enable it. If in case your package is working direct with some Azure SQL Server connections or any other remote sources where the Windows authentication is not at all used in any of the connections, don't require it. It's optional. So select package, folder, environment logging, the same concepts again. Right now I close it. I'm left with only package 2. And we already set the required package here, right? You already got the required package in the settings pane, package 1. And now finally validate. Make sure package validation is success. Publish this pipeline that we are publishing right now. Say publish. Publish means to save this package or the pipeline event to ADF store. Publish is also successful. Finally, add trigger, right? This one, add trigger, trigger now. Here we go. Trigger now, and we did not create any ADF parameters. Remember, these parameters refer to ADF parameters. There are no ADF parameters involved here because we got SSIS parameters, right, separately. As you see here, you got the SSIS parameters. Those are different. These are all grayed out because we cannot edit the parameter name or the data type or the scope. Not possible to edit the name or the metadata. Only value can be edited. Only the value can be edited. These SSIS parameters are different. And the parameter option you see here while triggering, it is ADF parameter. That is entirely different. And click OK, and the execution starts. It runs as usual. It is just like executing any other pipeline. Okay, next. Here it is. While the package is getting executed, make sure your portal is logged in. That's very important. Caution. Generally, the portal gets logged out after certain amount of inactivity. Make sure the portal is online. Make sure you are able to log into the portal so that you have access to the Azure resource, and especially if your ADF package or ADF pipeline has any access to Azure storage or Azure warehouse, even they should be accessible. So ensure your portal is logged in while you are executing the ADF package. Manually, scheduling is completely different. Scheduling doesn't require your portal to be online. And so here we go. Right now we are waiting for the package execution status. Still in progress anyway. Here it is. I'm showing you for one package, and same way, while one package is getting executed, you can always get other packages also. For example, let it go on, let it get executed, and in the meantime I'll take, here it is friends, a small option here for clone, right? You got a clone of the package, copy, the clone gets highlighted automatically, and then same way select another clone. Just select another clone, and here we can have the dependency chart between these three. Say package 1 is success, you would like to execute one more package. If it fails, you would like to execute another package. And here it is, say failure, something like this. The first entry and settings, you had one package, say package 1. Other package, I'll say settings. Because we cloned, I need to only simply change the package name, right? Isn't it? It becomes simple now, package 2. Same way, say package 3, settings. For example, something like this. Next, parameters for package 3, global parameter. But if you remember, for package 2, we have additional parameter, right? The input package parameter. This one, the package parameter. And here is a path. We can change the path here. I'll make it as, say, E drive. I'll give it some E drive, say big data input file. I'll give some path like this. Say big data input. And I'll make it a valid path. So it should be the big data input. So here it is. So for this purpose, I'll go to my sources. There is something called as big data input file. I'll copy and paste it, rename it, just making it dynamic. Unfortunately, there is no option for us to test the connectivity, though we are using the Windows authentication account. Next. Yes, friends. So you got the package environment ready, right? The package environment is ready here. Next step. As usual, we go for execution. As usual, we go for execution. And here it is. Before we execute, yes, we need to make sure our validation is successful, right? Our validation should be there. It should be successful. And so for this purpose, just click on validate option on top, this one. This is validating the pipeline. Once your pipeline validation is successful, then validate all. Make sure the factory validation is also successful. So remember, it's all depends on the configurations. Each package or each execute package item, go to settings. First try to run the package directly. If it don't work, then try to again get 32-bit runtime. Make it enabled. Domain name, nothing but your computer name. Username. So here it is. Next, username, password, and the package location. Next, with this information, let's continue here. Let's go for the execution now. So all we do is just validate, and publish. So earlier package or earlier pipeline was published. Now we again republish, it gets overwritten. In fact, only the incremental changes will be deployed. Publishing success. Okay, next. You got the required control flow ready, and simply say trigger now and click OK. So this way you'll practice by using some 3 different packages at on-premise and try to link them together and give it in Azure. Well, once you practice, then like a small task item, if in case if you're aware of environment variables, try to use them as well, including the package logging activities in on-premise. As you know, in on-premise package logging, we have Sys SSIS log, right? So try to enable the logging activity in on-premise and get those packages to Azure and see whether the SSIS log file is created in Azure SSIS DBA or not. Try to check it. With this information, you practice this carefully and use me for your doubts and clarifications. So practice all this carefully. In the next part of this particular class, the next chapter, we are going to understand how to execute SSIS packages with parameters from SSMS, generate script option, and pipeline execute procedures option. We'll do in the next part. For now, just practice all these, and in case if your package do not get successfully executed in this process, never mind, understand the procedure carefully, understand the complete process carefully. It should be fine, because we got nice alternative in the next chapter, wherein we shall understand how to access the package in SSIS DB from Azure SQL Server, generate script, and embed the script wherever you want. That is more flexible and more useful. Reason here in this process that we are discussing today, it requires a domain account, right? What if my computer don't have any domain? There is a small gap here. Well, if I'm connected to my company's network and well secured domain, it's okay. If not, our package may fail. No worries. For that, we got the next chapter waiting for us. We'll do it carefully. Please practice whatever we discussed so far today. Understand the complete process so that we are ready for the next class. Thank you. Have a nice day.